Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this video will help us with week 1, day 1, problem 5 of our FSA review packet. Okay, this question says Mike has read 3 less than 6 times the number of books than Julia has read. What factored expression represents the number of books X that Mike has read? Okay, there's a couple keys in this question that we've got to make sure we pay attention to. Okay, the question wants us to have a factored expression. So first let's see what our expression would look like initially. So if we look at this, we have 3 less than 6 times the amount of books. So we know that we need to start with the amount of books because we have to take away from that. That's what the less than means. So we can start by writing our initial equation or expression, and that would be 6 times the amount of books and 3 less than that. So at first glance we would look at B and say, oh well, B looks like this, so it's got to be B. But the question says factored expression. So what we need to do is figure out how we can factor this in order to come up with the correct answer. So if we looked at 6x minus 3, we have to look at each term. Now one term is 6x and the other term is a negative 3. So we got to figure out what is the same in both of those. So we look and we see we have a common factor of 3, because 3 will go into 3 and 3 will also go into 6. So that's what factoring means. We're going to find the greatest common factor of each term and take that out. Some people like to think about it as the opposite of distributing. So we're going to take the 3, and we know we can take that and bring it to the outside because we're going to factor that out. Okay, and then we say, well, how many times will 3 go into 6? That will be 2, and we have to keep our x. And how many times will 3 go into 3? And we know that is 1, but we have to keep our negative sign, so negative 1. Okay, and then we can double check that and make sure by distributing it back in and seeing if it is the same. So 3 times 2 is 6x, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3, and we look and see that we have choice D. So choice D would be the one. Make sure you don't get confused by seeing this expression and saying, oh, it's got to be B, because the question says which factored expression. So make sure you're reading your questions more than once, and then after you get the answer, I always read the question again with my answer in mind to make sure that it indeed makes sense. I hope this video helps. Stay tuned for more.